This is What You Waiting For, a woman's perspective on camping and survival. And I had written down a few things that I thought we could add to our learning list, what to learn. And I wanted to share them with you because maybe you could add it to your list. And these are all things that I would like to learn, um, or at least be able to try to learn for when shoot hits the fan. And we had already talked about like hand sewing, and that's without a machine, or if you have a pedal machine, that might break down. So you might need to learn how to hand sew for not just repairing things, but also because if shoot hits the fan, we're going to eat less, we're going to be doing more work, and we're probably going to be changing our size. And I know I'll probably be losing a lot of weight, and so we'll probably have to learn to take in our current clothes. Um, Mechanics, learning not just how to change oil or check tires, but real engine work. Also, small engine repairs. There's going to be a lot of engines out there, and you could modify them to do certain tasks for you if you know what you're doing. Another thing that I need to do right now, learning how to cut hair without clippers, without the electric clippers. You never know when something happens. I mean, if there's like a lice outbreak or something, you might need to be able to cut your hair shorter, especially if you have long hair, to have it more manageable. First aid, CPR. Also, with that, things dealing with herbs, like herbalism. If you understand what kind of herbs to use and how to grow them and how to prepare salves or tinctures to have the herbs solve some of your major complaints, because there's not going to be a lot of medicines out there. If you have a headache or need pain relief or stomach ache, you could turn to herbs and know which ones will work. Also, canning, and something I need to learn, pressure canning or water bath canning, uh, preserving, any type of preserving of the food, dehydrating, drying things out, also curing, like with salt. That would be another great skill to be able to have. Candle making, soap making, any type of bushcraft, like survival skills, fire building, knot tying, having to know when to use certain knots and how to tie them, camping skills that you use on a daily basis, cooking from scratch. If you have flour, water, a yeast, how do you turn that into bread? How do you make biscuits? Maybe think of things outside your region, like tortillas. They're very easy to make and require very little ingredients: flour, water, salt. And I've done it a few times. My husband calls them Texas tortillas. And I asked him, well, why? Is it because we live in Texas? No, because everything's bigger in Texas and they're nice and big. No, because they're in the shape of Texas. Because I can't make them round. But that requires a lot of practice and getting those recipes together. Grilling outside, cooking on an open flame. Those are all things that you should learn how to do. Construction with hand tools, not electrical tools. How to use the old-fashioned screw, be able to drill, and using hand screwdrivers. Making sure you have those. Woodworking, any type of woodworking. Fixing things, if you need to fix a fence, or have to repair windows, or board things up. Also, whittling. It's a skill that not a lot of people have anymore, but you could definitely use it for that type of situation. Any type of pioneering crafts, I would think. Anything before there was electricity, the skills that they needed. Ham radio, another great one. Also, understanding, like, I guess you call it like secret codes of how you can relay messages that not everybody will understand. And if you're going to create a code, you should do that now, not when it's the last minute. Go ahead and look into that. Look into different codes and ways that you can disguise important messages. Knife sharpening, axe sharpening. I mean, all these things you're really going to need because you're going to need sharp tools. And I'm turning the paper. I sort of wrote down some. Uh, Not just gardening, but also harvesting your crop, milling if you have to, you know, be able to mill that crop. Uh, Animal husbandry, how to take care of animals. When is the best time that they mate? Um, how to slaughter animals. Leather working. You're probably going to be able to have hides, so how to tan hides. Then afterwards, what can you do with that leather? Shoe repair. I remember my father telling me when he was young they used to go down and get some old tires, cut out the tires, and glue them to the bottom of their shoes. And something like that, shoe repair, belt repair, is going to be in great demand. Also repairing, say, saddles, things like that. Iron working, I don't know anything about that, but I wrote it down. Pottery and how to fire pottery without an electric kiln. Um, Understanding how I know some of them do it in big buckets, I mean, in big metal drums, and they fire them. Some of them dig into the ground and fire inside the ground. But learning that kind of skill. Handcrafts like knitting, crocheting, things like that. Uh, I know it's a lot of people don't think of this, but things like making lotions, salves, creams, things like deodorants, things like that. A lot of people might get into that for like Christmas gifts and give them out as Christmas gifts, but actually they have a larger purpose. And if you could know somebody that maybe has bees, or if you could take up beekeeping, you could really use the beeswax for a lot of those things. Uh, Midwife, if you could understand how to become a midwife, that would be a great because there's not going to be any doctors there. Um, Stabilizing, I mean sanitizing items. Not just like I put down diapers, bottles for newborns, but also things like if there's an infestation or a disease, how to sterilize bedding, how to sterilize things that they come in contact with, understanding certain circumstances where you might have to burn the items and find out, some of them might be killed by boiling water. Water disinfection, everybody should know that one. Solar and wind, uh, understanding how it actually works, understanding how you can take maybe things that you wouldn't normally use in that case, but be able to convert them so you can use them in solar and wind. uh, Renewable sources, resources. Um, oh, conversion. If you can convert things like understanding how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon, teaspoons are in a cup, cups are in a quart. I mean, it sounds really simple, but you would use that for so many things. For one thing, if you're rationing, if you have to end up rationing food, if you have to figure out how long your food will last. Um, Maybe you're having people come over that you weren't expecting, so instead of one family, you have to figure it out for three families. So when you go to cook or ration the food or anything, it has to be multiplied by three times. So instead of adding in, 1 teaspoon, is 1 tablespoon enough? I mean, it sounds a little silly now, but you will be using it and be glad you understand, that knowledge. Um, Also, another important thing is thinking about nursing, like a nursing class. But if you can't do the nursing class, at least get a nursing medication book or for pills and things like that. It gives a lot of information in there. It gives what they look like. Some of them have pictures. They give names. They give what they're commonly called, their generic equivalent. They give dosing. They tell you exactly what to look for as far as complications, side effects, and what it does. And this would be great because if you come across medicine and you don't know what it's for, you could easily figure it out. Also, if you're needing pain relief for some reason somebody is majorly needing pain relief, and they use it to barter, and they barter this pain reliever, and you're trusting this person on the other end that that's what it is. What if you end up getting Viagra? Because you don't understand what it is. Or if you're thinking that it's antibiotics and the person bartering with you is not very, honest, and it turns out to be, a Tylenol equivalent. There's you need to understand that. Also, you need to start understand the dosage so you do not get in trouble. And then there's basic things like shooting and uh, tearing your gun down. Cleaning is always important. Um, and things like evasion, learning the ideas. It's not really for me. I haven't really done this, but there's a lot of information on the internet about evading, how to hide, how to come across, if tactics that you need for engagement. Um, a lot of that information you can find in a lot of books or on the internet. Also, things like hiding. You can find out information now of different places that you can hide, that hide items or yourself. Um, Maybe how to create a false wall. Find out now how to maybe gut a TV so you can put something inside. Different things to that effect to be able to hide items. Um, because when it comes to it, you might need to either hide items or possibly hide yourself. So anyway, that is just a quick list. Wasn't really quick, but a list that I came up with. There are probably hundreds of other things, and if you think of anything, put them down in the comments, because I just, couldn't think of everything right now. And those are just a few things that of the skills to learn. Those would be really great to have um, for when shoot hits the fan. So add some to your list and let me know what your list is. Maybe it's a lot different, and maybe you've thought of a lot different things than I have. So anything, let me know. So what you waiting for? Bye.